Did that work? It says excellent. I think it's live, but I'm going to check because I've never live streamed on YouTube before. Isn't that exciting? Where do I find that? Let's see. I have to find my YouTube channel. I guess it's brand new, so I need to search for the full name. Maybe? Huh. Where is there like a live section? There is a live section. Hey, that looks like me. Oh, it sounds like me too. It's working. All right. We're in business. Cool. I thought that might be more difficult. But going live on YouTube is not bad. Alrighty. So, the reason why I'm live streaming this today is I guess it helps to keep me focused, and I've found that when I'm doing programming, that having to explain the process out loud kind of helps me develop a more concrete mental model for what I'm trying to accomplish, and that helps me achieve my goal in a way that's more maybe efficient, more thorough, like having to think about it and then also explain my thought process. I find that that is a way to reach a better result. Because I'm not really a programmer. Like I'm a computer scientist, but I don't program often. It's mostly been side projects, I guess you'd call them, personal projects. And this project I'm working on today is the engine code for Ocean Sea, which is a seahorse aquarium and also I guess a platform for developing educational videos. Right now, I use it to create educational videos that help teach kids in elementary school to read through the use of sight words. I'm not an educator, but my sister is, and she told me about these sight words that they use in their classrooms, and I put them into the seahorse aquarium, and actually I can show it right now. For example, oh, I guess it'll take a minute to run. Well, you'll see the submarines coming in. So Ocean Sea by itself is just like a visual art project, I guess. Something that's calming and relaxing. For me, anyway, I have a lot of pleasant memories from being at the ocean. So hearing the waves crashing and watching cool seahorses swim across the screen, I find that to be calming and relaxing and good for me, for my mental health. What is a mat? M-A-T. Oh, I guess that's like a floor mat? Yeah. I need to relearn my educational words from elementary school. I haven't been in elementary school in so long. You see the word mat by itself, it's like, what? What's a mat? Anyway, so these seahorses go across the screen. That's just cool looking. The kids find those fascinating visually. And when they're fascinated by the seahorses, then they also see these submarines go across the screen with words. And then they read the words. They recognize them as sight words, and it just helps them learn the core words for reading. So that's what ocean sea vision is. But through the process of making these videos, what I've found is I was just doing pure RNG for what words appear, and there ends up being repetition, and there ends up being words that might get left off of a video, which is not ideal. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to modify the engine that I'm using, that I created for this project, to take into account what words or seahorses. The one I'm going to modify first is just the seahorse one. And then I will apply that same method, I guess, the same type of functionality to the submarine generation code, so that it'll go through all of the possible pool of words and seahorses before it starts a second round. And that will that'll make the videos better for everybody. The regular seahorse videos won't have as much repetition, which is good, I think. You'll be able to see all the different designs. Right now there are 100 different seahorse designs in the ocean. Unique, original creations. And then I'll apply that same logic to the submarines that have the words, so that all the different words in the pools are displayed during each video. And nothing gets left out. Because right now it's just pure random. Like the entire pool gets drawn from. Anything that's not actively in use can be selected, and that's like, it can omit words, and that's not great, I don't think. So yeah, I'm live streaming this today to show my process for modifying the code and figuring out what I need to do. I've done some thinking about this already, so I have an idea in my mind of what needs to happen. You know, I might have even taken notes somewhere. Maybe not. That might have been a different thing. I had been working on scaling of the seahorses also. I think I had notes on that. Oh, maybe it was in here. Dun dun dun. That's done. Done. That might get done eventually. Alright. So then for today, Okay, I did have an email. That was the problem. I need a better way to do the seahorse selection to avoid duplicates and omissions. This is my thought on the solution. Maybe I copy the starting array into a new array in random order and then pop that until it is empty. I think that's a good solution. This is like part of that. Okay. Copy the starting array into a new array in random order. Then pop. Okay. So last time I did a live stream. I did some live streams on Twitch initially, which I don't like Twitch as a company because of Bezos, and the way they're doing advertising on there is really gross, I think. So what I live streamed on there was previously, well, I guess first I'll explain that Ocean Sea is essentially a web page. The way that I created the engine, it's a PHP web page that ends up generating HTML5 with cascading style sheets and JavaScript that does all the motion stuff. And my last stage of the project was splitting out the seahorse pool code into separate PHP pages that get included. That way, this is one of them. That way, I can modify these PHP pages, and it'll update every variant, every version of the seahorse pool. Like I have different pages for each word pool, because there's pre-K all the way up to 3rd grade, and then some that are just generic elementary school. So they all use the same pool of seahorses. So each time I wanted to add more seahorses, I had to go in and change the pool code on each page. But now that it's all abstracted out into an include file, I only have to update it in one place. So that makes my life going forward a lot easier. And it also makes the code cleaner, easier to work in. It's not as cluttered. Like I used to have this giant block of code in every single page, and now it's just this one line, so I can see more easily what I'm working on going forward. So I have an idea of what I need to do. So we build the left pool, and then we build the right pool. How do I want to do this? Those are arrays that get used later. Constant we'll do random right pool. I guess I'll do the right pool first, and then all the logic will be the same for the left pool. How do I want to do this? So once the pool runs out, I'll have to generate a new one. So I'm gonna say so we got the size of the pool. I might have an off by one error in here. I don't know. I haven't mentally processed the array length and the array position. I haven't used pop before. I've only been pushing. But I think I want to keep the original pool. I think I need a third array. We'll do right pool pop. Can I just say right pool pop? Because that's the one I'm going to pop from, equals right pool. Will that just make a copy of the array? I guess we'll find out. Oh boy. All right, now I need math.random times so it'll be the one we're popping from, right? Pool pop dot length pop position equals, so this is going to select a random position from the right pool pop array. Oh man, this is this is dusting off some I wanted to say neutrons, but that's not right. Neurons. Dusting off some neurons that I haven't used in a long time. All right, which is good. That's part of why I'm doing this kind of project, is because I want to exercise my brain and learn new things, and it's definitely been accomplishing that. So we're choosing a random position in the array to pop out. So then we're going to say random right pool dot push what does that look like? And that needs a position. No, this is going to be the object. So here is where we get the right pool pop dot pop pop position. Maybe? I don't know if I need to do that. I think I could accomplish the same thing because eventually we're going to pop everything out of this array, right? So I think I can just say, now that that popped out, pool pop dot length. So we're taking this part builds an array called right pool, and it contains an array of arrays. So then we make an empty array named random right pool. And then while this integer starting at 0 is less than the right pool size, we're selecting a random position from the remaining right pool pop array. This part, I don't know. I'm assuming it works the same as push. I think it's going to return the object from the array. And then this will push it into the random right pool. I use this status HTML kind of for debugging, I guess. All right. so it does say, it'll say right pool built, and then building right pop pool. I haven't worked with arrays enough to know if this is going to make a copy of the array or what, but I think that's what it does. So it's going to take random right pool. So right now, all right, I'm gonna have to change a bunch of code further up also as I think this through. So when you pop an object out of an array, we should eventually, we'll loop through there until every item in the right pool pop is popped out until the length is 0. Then as soon as the pool size, which is the length, equals 0, after everything's been popped out, this will complete, and we'll have this array called random right pool that we can draw from. I think that works. I'm going to save this. Save as. With better RNG. So this shouldn't break anything. Oh, I'm going to change the version number. Say 2.1. How about that? This shouldn't break anything. If I did it right, it shouldn't break anything. I'm just running it to see if it generates unexpected identifier, right pool size. I didn't declare that. Oh no, I did. What? $692. I think it's a let instead of a int. Oh boy. All kinds of problems. Uncaught type error. Assignment to constant variables. 6. It did not like this. Okay. Copy an array into another array. Entries in the array are objects. You don't want modifications to an object in one array to show up in the other array. If the destination array doesn't exist yet, use map to create a new array and copy as you go. JSON.parse. What? What? If you want to append the contents, it couldn't just be an easy array equals array, huh? What else are people saying? That's old. Slice? What? Splice? Oh boy. So I have to copy the objects from the array one at a time. I mean, it should be the same deal, but instead of popping, I'm just referencing the array position. Maybe? I think that might make sense. Maybe? Oh, jeez. I'm gonna write a note so I can just figure out what I'm trying to do. I need to make a copy of write pool into a new array, write pool pop. This doesn't work. Is it a bracket? To reference the position in an array. Yeah, it's a bracket. think this will step through every position from 0 until 1 less than the right pool size. Maybe? I don't know. I like to just I like to put the code into production and then just see what happens. No errors. I don't know how to tell if it worked or not, but it didn't generate any errors. So what did I change? There's an empty array right pool pop that we're going to use. We're going to pop values out of that when we're picking random seahorses. I wanted to make a copy of the right pool into this array. I couldn't just copy 1 to 1. So I said let position equals 0 while position is less than the length of the full original right pool. We're pushing into this new array the object from the right pool from 0 all the way up. Okay, I think that'll do it. I think that's right. And then we say, so this is taking random values out of the right pool pop. A random position. I hope I'm using pop right. I'm assuming it works the same as push. You give it the, let me look up that. Remove pop the last element. Pop returns the element it removed. So you can't tell it what element you're popping. It just always pops the last one. That doesn't seem right either. I guess that makes sense. Like pushing it just puts it on the end. You don't tell it what position to... So that is not random. Huh. In my mind, I was going to be able to do this, and now that that's not an option, now I'm confused. What other array methods and properties do I have available? Splice? What does splice do? At position 2, remove 2 items. Add or remove an array containing the removed items. Okay, so instead of a pop, we're splicing from the pop position one value. From position 2, what? So what, from position 1. So then this has to be able to be 0. 0, I think that's fine. Maybe? Oh boy. Yeah, I think that works. This will always return just one object that got spliced out, and then it'll push it into the random right pool. So once all of this is done, I now have a random right pool. I'm going to need a function to rebuild this, the random right pool once it runs out of items, out of objects. So I think this is going to need to be a function. How long have I been streaming for? 45 minutes. You know what? I think it's a good time for me to take a break and stretch my legs and give my eyes a rest and refill my water and do all the things that are part of being healthy while working for long durations at a computer. It's not good to sit for long periods of time. It's not good to stare at a screen for long periods of time without resting your eyes. I think like every 20 minutes you're supposed to take a 20-second break to look at something 20 feet away to reduce eye fatigue. So I'm going to take a short break, and when I come back we can continue figuring out what the heck. I think I've made good progress. I think I learned about the difference between popping and splicing, and yeah, from there we should be able to get it working, hopefully. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm back. Eyes rested, legs stretched, water refilled. It's important to stay hydrated and stretched. And I got some cookies. Yummy. I think a lot of people don't take into consideration how mentally strenuous it is to do this type of work. Like if you look at like professional chess players, for example, they have to eat a lot of calories to perform well because all of the cognitive processing they're doing while playing chess burns calories. So I think when you're doing programming or whatever else that uses a lot of mental energy to figure out new things, like you need to keep your brain fueled. That's part of what keeps you functioning and productive when you're doing logic and math and stuff. So I think right now there should be a random right pool that's been built. So I think I can use this random right pool instead of right pool here. I think I could just replace all of these. I guess that would be a good test. If I can replace those and it still works, then I think that means we're building the array correctly. So now let's see. Yeah, that did not work. Oh boy. Failed to execute. Provided value is not of type. All right. Well, let me copy this out. We're going to undo that. I was hoping that would just work. I guess that's probably true of almost anything that I do. I just hope it works. 543. This is where it was hitting the wall. It was saying the current rate current right I0 was not not of type image. So what was I doing? I was thinking I had a random right pool built. So right pool is an array of arrays. I was thinking that this would be pushing the array from the right pool position. Oh boy. It's pushing something. What is it pushing? How do I know what it's pushing? Right pool position. Like it's pushing these arrays into the right pool. So when I pop, I guess I'm not popping it. I'm referencing this. When I say right pool position 0, it should be I would think it's returning this entire array. Maybe that's not true. If this doesn't return the entire array, if you have an array of arrays and you reference a position in the initial array, what gets returned? Dang. So this is a JavaScript array of arrays. I wonder if this needs to be Oh geez, people are talking about fourth and fifth dimensional arrays. Like, what the heck? What the heck? Let's see here. Can I not just reference the entire array? Is array for each? I'm guessing that when I'm calling the array with a position number, I'm guessing it's not returning the entire array. That's my best guess for what is happening. Based on the error message it gave, which said when it tried to reference the right pool pop, it wasn't getting an image, HTML image value, because it should be getting this. So it makes it through all this code without an error. But when I try to output the value, or utilize the value of one of the objects in this array, so either this push isn't putting the whole array value into it, or maybe the splice is not returning the whole contents. JavaScript splice an array of arrays. Oh boy. I might be a bit in over my head here. And that's really not good content. Not good streaming when you can't figure out what the heck's going on. This should be returning, splicing out one value from a random position. Okay. Is there a different, without popping, is there just like a, have it return return an index element of an array? I think that might be what it is. That looks better, I think. I think that looks better. I think I wasn't using the right process, the right function method, right method. I think that wasn't going to return the whole array. I think it was doing something. Oh, maybe not. The description says the at method returns the same as brackets. So I think whatever I changed, it didn't accomplish anything. It's two ways to do the exact same thing. Indexed element from an array. feel like this might not be giving me... This might be giving me like the values of the array instead of the array itself. Oh boy. So I think it's either this. I think the problem is happening either here where this is not giving me the full array from that position, or I think this splicing of the value out of this So how do I figure out which part of it is broken? Make a new pop status. I don't know what that's gonna do. I don't know if that's actually gonna give me the information I'm looking for. Cannot set properties in null. What? Is it a plus to add the variable value? I don't know. What? Pop status. What? Cannot set properties of null, setting inner HTML. What? How is that any different than... Now I'm confused. Like, this is giving me an error. But this variable is null, which means it does not exist or has not yet been defined. When it's defined right here. Maybe it, oops. Okay. It says it pushes 49. Can I do that? Will that tell me what it's pushing? Pushing right. Object HTML. Start position. Start X, start Y. Right pool dot length minus 0.5 times. I mean, that's completely wrong. This is wrong, but it doesn't matter. So I added this status message. It took me a while to figure out, like, oh yeah, if I want to figure out what's wrong with it, then I need to get some debugging information. I need to figure out what these variable values are. So I'm outputting this into the code. So it says pushing right 49, and then it lists the I guess whatever gets returned. I'm guessing that this is not returning an array. It seems to be just returning a string. Huh. So if it's pushing a string instead of an array, how do I fix that? How do I fix that? Because I'm guessing. Yeah, that returns the exact same value. So these two are equal, which makes sense. Like, it is pushing it on there, but I think it's pushing a string instead of an array. Oh boy. What am I? I feel like it's so close. It's so close to doing what it needs to do. Well, man, programming is really difficult. Whenever you're trying to do something for the first time and you don't have a full comprehension of like the path to the objective, it's just like I know where I'm at, I know where I'm trying to get, but with what I have implemented and available right now, it's not going from A to B. And I'm not sure what even like the splice. What does the splice return? Is that not returning an array? Maybe? Return value, an array containing the removed items, if any. So this is getting the correct values. Like when it splices it out, it's getting the same thing I pushed. So I'm guessing, my best guess right now is that referencing the array position is, I guess it's not returning the array that's in that position. Because the way it prints it out, there's no brackets or quotes. And in a JavaScript array, there's supposed to be brackets and quotes. or not necessarily quotes, but it's supposed to be within brackets, separated by commas. So it's separated by commas, but it's not within brackets. Do I just need to enclose it in brackets? Does that make any sense? I don't think that's how arrays work, but it doesn't hurt to try it. Hopefully. I didn't change anything. Pushing an array by referencing another array. Sorry, I'm just reading. I don't want to concatenate. And when I reference right pool 0, I guess it's returning. It should be returning seahorse 5. And then it should be pushing it. And it even says object HTML image element. JavaScript. Prototypical inheritance. They're not, it's not an array, it's an array object. What? What? Oh my goodness. I guess what I can change now to see, will this print the second item in the array? Yeah. So it is an array. What? What the heck? It's saying it builds a 50 seahorse array. It seems to have what it needs. Why was it not able to? when I did that, I got all kinds of errors. I can't draw the image. I don't know what's going on. I got the debugging code in here. It's saying it's adding the random right pools, getting all the values pushed into it needs. So it should be the same as right pool, just in a different order. Oh man. I guess I could see. Like they're the same. The return value of these is the same. Not exactly the same because they're different images, but why would referencing should be the same. That might have shown me something. Oh. Okay, so random right pool only has one array element, and it's the entire. So this is not think that's what's happening. When I splice one value out of here, I think this is working. I think it's the splice is not working. So that's the debugging process. You just keep adding more output until you figure out which part of it's broken. So now I know random right pool is an array of it's supposed to be an array of arrays, but it is an array of strings, I guess, or arrays with only one value. So I think it's a splice. Even though the documentation says a return value is an array containing the removed items, if any. Why does splice return a string instead of an array? Oh, they say 0. Size 50. That That's the same thing. Why is it saying undefined? What does alert do? Oh. I think I found the right example. Oh. Let's fucking go. That was it. That was it. So this splice returns an array of what it cut out. So I had to reference the position within that array to push it. As it was pushing an array of arrays instead of just the array. Oh man. So now I can go in and pretty sure I can replace these now. And I'm pretty sure it's going to work without an error. So now we have, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was it. That was it. Oh. Wow. So now we have a random right pool. Man. Took me like over an hour to figure that out. I used up my brain power for the day. But I did it. I persevered. I was ready to give up there. Like when it wasn't doing what I thought it was supposed to do, I was ready to quit. But then I resolved myself to figuring it out and kept at it, kept digging into what the values of the variables were. So adding an additional debugging statement and just printing out more information that would give me more clues as to like what was causing it to not have the correct value, like at what point did it have which values, and that let me narrow it down to the section of code that was causing the issue, which is right here. Just gonna save the explanation into the notes. So now I have my random right pool to draw from. I've been at this for over 2 hours. I'm feeling brain fatigue at this point. So I think that I'm probably going to call it here for today. I've made great progress, I feel like. I've figured out how to generate the randomized pool. I'm going to have to pull that out into a function because I'm going to have to, like once I deplete the initial pool, I'm going to have to regenerate a new random pool. And all that's going to take a lot more brain processing power and time that I feel like I probably don't have on a Friday night. So I'm going to save it off here, and I will continue tomorrow, another live stream, and continue making progress. I want to get it down to where it's functioning like this weekend. I think that won't be a problem. I think I've got the hardest part figured out. Next up will just be moving it into a function and modifying the add functions, like where it's adding a new seahorse in so that it utilizes this new randomly built array. It'll just pop values out of this new array instead of having to pull a random position from the right pool. I like it. So it was definitely not as simple as I had initially thought it might be. Like I thought I could just copy an array into another array and it would just work, and it didn't. I had to figure out the cloning function, I guess. And then I thought I would just be able to push the popped value in. The whole splicing thing, having to use splice instead of pop. I thought I could pop a random position out. That didn't work. I thought splice worked differently than it did. That probably caused me the biggest headache. Where the documentation says an array object containing the deleted elements, if any, is returned. It's actually, I mean, that is what it does. That is what it does. But I was returning an array and I didn't know to call the position of the returned array to get the array that I needed. So figure that out. That was the hardest part, I think. And yeah, I think for a first live stream, that's not bad. I probably had too many points where I was thinking and not talking, just sitting here in silence, but this is the first stream and nobody watched, so not a problem. And I'll be back on tomorrow to continue this project. I'd like to get it done this weekend. I think that won't be a problem. I don't know what time tomorrow, probably earlier. I don't think I have to do a whole lot tomorrow, so I'll try to get on earlier and live stream it, get it running in a way that improves the randomization so that I'll be ready to produce new episodes of the Ocean Sea Visions, the educational videos. I'll produce a whole new set of videos for each category. Yeah, each category will get a new video that utilizes new randomization functions to avoid repeats and omissions, and that'll be awesome. It'll just make the whole thing better and more balanced and more well-rounded, and it's a better educational tool. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot about arrays and how to manipulate and utilize arrays in JavaScript, so that was good. And yeah, awesome. I'll probably leave this on the channel. I think it saves it off as a video, so if people want to watch it at a future date, they can. And I think that's it. Thank you for watching, and have a good evening or day or whatever. Have a good one. Peace. You'll not be able to reconnect. Your stream will stop. You will no longer be live. That's why I clicked